Welcome back, everybody. This is PVL Week 2, Day 1. We are in our final matchup of the night between YD Omega and Infamous Army. We just saw an amazing game of Infamous taking a dominating performance over YD. YD Omega, however, having taken the first game, this is an even series right now, so we're looking to see which team is going to end up coming out on top. Very close so far. Both teams rearing up, ready to go. We're about to have some awesome gameplay for you guys here coming up shortly.
And we should be able to get started now.
So we do have two members not present in the lobby right now. So for everybody's reference, my name is James, and this is Community, who is our new addition to the caster booth. So it does look like we've got a sub coming in on the side of Yugen Dynasty, so we will be waiting on them to get that situated real quick, and then we'll be kicking off the game. For those of you tuning in now, we did have 3 matchups prior to tonight. We had Non-Toxic Esports losing out to Executee in a 1-2 best-of-3 series. We also had Assassin Squad taking a dominating 2-0 performance over 5 Kings. And then finally, we had Pride Stark Empire showing that the Empire has not died yet, taking a 2-0 victory over YD Alpha. This is the 4th and final matchup of the night. We are in Game 3 between Yugen Dynasty and Infamous. We're excited, and we hope you as well as we get this match underway.
And we are at another Game 3. Exciting night so far. We had 2 Game 3 series so far.
Yes, it's definitely been an interesting series thus far. Teams are not giving any ground, and I really love that. It really looks like each team is giving it their all, trying to participate and give the best showing that they possibly got. For those of you that don't know, this season we have an awesome $2,500 prize pool that will be split amongst the top 4 teams of the season in the playoffs. So the top 8 teams from the season of 16 will end up making their way to playoffs, 2 teams from each group stage, and they will end up competing for that $2,500 prize pool. So we're very excited to be able to offer that to the community and to these teams that have put in so much effort and time, sweat, tears into being able to perform their all here tonight. And with that, we will enter the night with picks and bans coming up. Infamous Army versus YD Omega, a quick Florentino ban coming out, the staple ban for most teams at this current moment.
And I wonder for Game 3 if they change it up and force, bans on heroes instead, because Ghost Omen was daily that round, so I wonder if they let it go through again.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if they'll end up in the Omen ban, but I hope that they remember it, considering how dominating it was. Ghost showing a very impressive performance there. They might actually end up opting for the Richter ban themselves and then opting to take Omen. So considering Infamous has that first pick, they've got a lot of flexibility with it, and I don't know if they'd be willing to prioritize an Omen for the first pick, meaning Yugen Dynasty could potentially set that up for themselves.
And an interesting third ban here by the Infamous squad.
So with Sephira, Richter, Omen being up, etc., I think the third ban was made to make Yugen Dynasty sweat a little bit, because they've got to pick someone to ban. But there are a lot of strong picks that are still available. And it does look like they'll opt to not ban a third again.
So a little bit of mind games going on during that pick and ban phase.
So with Sephira getting picked up, I wonder if they're going to end up opting for Richter and Omen.
That would be scary.
That would be a very scary double side lane. What would you do against that?
What can you do?
I mean, well, you could play a mage, apparently, from what we've seen. It does look like they're going to end up picking the Crashed, and I feel like that was a Telenos auto pick. So I'm not sure if we're having some connection issues right now. Let me check the chat and see if anything's going on.
And the Scud is coming back out again.
Yeah, so Infamous having a very good showing on that Scud. We haven't seen a second side lane coming out from Yugen Dynasty just yet. We don't know if it's going to be a Richter or if they'll go and opt for the Omen again. I feel like they're waiting for the very last moment right now, so we'll probably end up seeing the mid lane getting picked up as well as the jungle here. We do actually end up seeing a Malik get picked up, so very interesting coming out from Yugen Dynasty. What do you think of the Malik pick?
The Malik, I like it. They're giving this Tellianis such a beefy front line, so they're investing all in her. But look who came out. The Omen came out, so yeah, be very careful with your Tellianis position, you know.
I think it's honestly a really poor choice for them to pick Tellianis. While I love their front line, I love the Malik, the Zephys, the Crest, I think... I do not value Tellianis nearly as much as I think some others do. I think she had her moment in the spotlight, but there are just so many better options in my mind.
And I agree with that. So many more mobile options in that role.
Yeah, every other option is mobile. Yeah. So I don't think that they're really playing to their potential strengths. I think Tellianis is definitely the weak link in this situation. So we'll be interested to see how they end up using it. But yeah, very strong performance coming out from Infamous. And since none of their heroes ended up getting banned, they're basically playing the same game that they wanted to last time.
It's kind of like expecting different results doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, definition of insanity over here. We do have Aram, Omen, and Scud being the platform and that base infrastructure that Infamous used to win last time coming out again. So they really don't have too much to sweat about other than the fact that they don't have as many squishy players. But they do have a Tellianis, and Tellianis is kind of like a snack, so...
A very delicious snack, so she's going to get eaten up completely this game.
I want to see them run Tank Tell. Just be like, full AD Crest, Tank Tellianis.
Right, look at me, I'm the support now.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't even know. They look at the build 15 minutes into the game, and they're like, wait, why does she have Mail of Pain?
But I am liking the Liliana pick. She is mobile, so that will make them sweat a little bit trying to pick her off. But everybody else on the team is a pretty relatively safe pick if they land Arm ult on.
Yeah, if she hadn't picked Flicker, I probably would have just called the game at that, honestly. Like it's a 4v5 if Tell hadn't taken Flicker. But it does look like we'll be getting into the game right now. It's the Premier Valor League, Week 2, Day 1. We have Infamous Army versus YD Omega. Very excited for this final matchup. It is a 1-1 best-of-3 series right now, so we will see which team ends up winning out here in the next few moments. But Hit is by himself, and there are 4 members of Infamous looking to put some hurt onto him. Heal ends up coming out from Hit, so he will end up having no cooldown if in the ensuing team fights coming up here in just a moment. He will end up having to use the Aquatic Shield to get out. He's not really going to be effective considering, I mean, Doze is, well, Aram, and Aram does not die at level 1, if you know.
And again, Omen doing a great job against the Malik, even though the Malik has that range and poke ability.
Yeah, so really, Omen has the advantage for the early game against a Malik because he is more mobile. Once they hit level 2, I think Malik has a little bit of a better time because he can heal up, he can sustain, get that shield, and then put a little bit more pressure onto it. But if he uses his cleave like he's using right now, he's not putting any damage onto Ghost, which means Ghost can just clear his wave at the same time, rotate more effectively than Malik, and then if Malik leaves the lane ever, Omen is going to destroy some towers.
Yeah, and even though the Arm was invading with the Omen on the red buff, Zephys was able to secure that and take that, so that's huge for him right now, able to get level 4 on a gank here on the Omen side of the jungle.
And Tellianis coming up against Scud right now, it is... Wow, that is... Wow, that's painful.
There's nothing you can do about that.
I hope you got that, because that's going to be clipped.
Yes.
There is absolutely nothing you can do against that. That was a 4-man... There's not very many good words that describe that. And a quick Abyssal Dragon will end up getting picked up by Infamous there and then.
They should really look at swapping these lanes and having the Teleonis versus the Malik.
I don't know why they're putting Teleonis against Scud. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know why they picked Teleonis, knowing that they had Scud and Omen playing such dominant performances for the team last game. But they opted to do it, so we'll end up seeing how they end up with this new front line that they've got, having that Malik, that Crash, that's... it does look like Omen was able to reach that level 4. He's going to be able to put some good damage in. However, Malik does have that shield coming out. So, very useful for him. Being able to at least sustain through these fights instead of getting dominated like he did on that Richter. And I'm curious if we're going to see a bit coming out. So Telenaut putting a little bit of aggression in. It does look like Scud's just going to offer the Power Glove onto it. He senses something and he does end up backing out. And I think
that
what
is
he
some
senses
great
is
game
the fact
sets.
that there are 4 members of YD coming to the bottom lane. He does not end up taking the bait. However, it does look like Doze is going to take a little bit of poke. In the meantime, they don't end up engaging onto him. I haven't really seen Hit do anything on this Crest so far, and I want to see him be more aggressive. Because he's got the shield ability with the aquatic shield and he's able to set up these fights, he's got a lot of opportunity to make plays for his team. But his team is split constantly. They're not rotating effectively together. And YD is getting a little pounded because of it, because Infamous has 4 members rotating almost constantly. They have one side lane pushing, and then the side lane rotates with the support, the mid lane, and the jungle. They can take as many objectives as they want.
And Scud just waiting for Teleonis. He doesn't have vision of the enemy team, so he's playing relatively safe now. He knows that they kind of want to focus him to keep Teleonis alive.
Yeah, so definitely a very good performance coming out from Scud. Scud knows that if he gets one glove onto Tel is probably going to be in a lot of hurt. They will end up getting the Abyssal Dragon for the side of Yugen Dynasty, however, at the cost of their top tower.
But they could get this bottom turret at the same time. There's going to be a turret race, but they have a Slim, so they're definitely going to go on their side.
So it's really going to depend, because Infamous might actually be for a second tower. Good Metamorphosis coming out from Hit. However, Hit's going a little bit deep. He's getting a little too aggressive. They don't have a minion wave. Sigma was able to clear the minion wave and get out successfully, which means that they're not going to be able to take this turret.
That was huge. He stopped the push, and his team got the kill on the other side of the map.
So, yes, Ruin was able to secure a kill onto Doze. However, he will end up going down. They do not end up getting the second tier turret, and Zephyrus will end up getting not only the red buff, but also a lot of damage onto the Scud. He will end up taking 2 tower shots, though. Not really understanding why he decided to just walk under there. I don't know if he thought that he could get that kill, but it's hard-pressed to say that he could. Both side lanes in the bottom lane right now. That's interesting. So top lane's wide open, but it's a Malik, so you can't exactly do much as a Malik. Sigma will end up going down, though. A great ultimate coming out from Zephyrus. He actually lives through that. While the bottom tower will end up going down, it was a very good play. Hit is going to need to drop this Metamorphosis, though, if he wants to end up saving his teammate. The ultimate will end up coming out from Aram, which will kill Telenos. However, with Hit being on the front line now, they've got a great wall that they're going to be rushing through as they end up trying to take down Fierce, who is running like he's got a crest on him.
And sure, just in the back, just dishing out damage and healing up for everything.
True, and Liliana is very low for the Sephira. Sephira walking straight into Scud's face is going to end up taking a death real there.
Well, what I found interesting in that last fight was Omen started the fight with his ultimate, but Scud got the turret aggro for some reason. So it makes me wonder if Omen's ultimate doesn't pull turret aggro.
If you're talking about Embrace, yes, Omen's ultimate, I don't know if it actually causes turret aggro, because it doesn't actually deal damage to anybody. All it does is it puts the ring around them to where they cannot move. If you hit them afterwards, obviously you'll get turret aggro, but I'm not necessarily sure if it causes you to gain aggro.
Yeah, because I think the Scud went in thinking that he had not turret aggro first.
Yeah, so Iniquity will end up going down on that Lily. Good wolves coming out from Doze on that arm. However, he will end up overstaying his welcome and does end up going down. First mid tower going down on the side of Yugen Dynasty, and then Ghost will end up going down as well. He does manage to end up taking down Ruin in the process.
And Infamous squad doing a great job on these rotations and forcing the turrets. You know, turrets win games. All these kills really don't matter if you don't have any of these turrets that respond.
Definitely, and a little bit of Yugen Dynasty's aggression is coming back because they've got these tankier picks. Zephys is doing a lot of work for his team despite the fact that they're not really gaining much ground for it. He's rotating effectively, he's stealing the jungle buffs, he's trying to put pressure where he can, which is causing rotations that INF doesn't necessarily want. Currently in the bottom lane, we've got Scud charging up the Power Glove, looking to go in onto Xavier. Xavier taking a lot of damage. He will end up going under the tower. Slims does end up missing the spear, however, and with Sephira going in on him as well, he will end up going down. 4 members of Infamous rotating down onto him. And looking at the top lane right now, probably going to end up going down at the same time, but with that, he is very aggressive play and unnecessary by Ruin on that Malik going back in to try and take the kill. I don't think that Ruin really needed to do that. He had plenty of time to just back off and let his teammates take the kill onto Omen. But
he almost died too there.
Yeah, he doesn't end up dying. But because he opted not to go back sooner, they put a lot of damage onto those tier 2s, and they tier 2 turrets. And the bottom tier 2 turret will end up going down actually because of Scud. So they do also end up picking up the Abyssal Dragon, the 3rd one of the game. Their Infamous is looking pretty strong now. They look like they're in their element. They're still using that same backbone that they used to win the previous game, and because Yugen Dynasty didn't do anything to actually mitigate that, they are a very strong composition.
And they're just taking these turrets down so fast.
Yeah, I mean, because they have a Slims who's a tank killer, they have an Aram tank frontline, a Sephira with the Tides is going to be able to sustain her team through. They've effectively got 2 supports, multiple tanks, bruisers that are capable of split pushing, as well as a tank killing marksman long range carry. And it does look like Omen is going to taking down Zephys at the same time. Zephys with a good ultimate does manage to get out of that at the same time. Sigma will take a lot of damage from that. However, Aram does end up walking into the back line and saying, no, you're not going to get out of this alive. Sorry, bud. Malik will end up going down as well. A spear manages to land onto the Crest, and they will end up walking out with 2 members down. No members down on the side of Infamous. Infamous continuing to push in onto the high ground turrets. They will end up opting for this Darkslayer though, so this will be a clean Darkslayer getting taken on the side of Infamous.
Oh, so much pressure down. Only tier 3 turrets down up right now for the Dynasty squad, so they have so much options right now.
Yeah, there's also a 9k gold lead on the side of Infamous, so pretty much looking like the game that we saw last time. Strong backbone, effective capabilities of being able to clear out those carries. Telenos doing a little bit better this time around. He's still not that effective. He has Devil's Handshake, which I'm not really sure why he built that at all. But yeah, it's not really doing it for their composition, and because Zephys doesn't have somebody that's more capable of handling the matchup, like being able to out-rotate Scud, being able to do anything more effective, he's really hard-pressed to do anything at this point.
And they get to 2 turrets now, so there's only 1 turret left, and the gates are open. All that's left is the core here.
Yeah, I want to see a Metamorph coming out from Pid, so he does manage to lock up 3 of those players. They will end up going in. However, because of the gold deficit right now, he's basically by himself, as all of the team members, all of the carries on the side of Yugen Dynasty Omega will end up going down right now. Slims does manage to die, but they do end up taking that third game because of it. So well done coming out from Infamous Army, showing that they are still a force to be reckoned with coming out for the second season. They had a really good showing in the first season and managed to make it to playoffs. And we're very happy to see them back and coming in full force. It looks like they've had a lot of time to prepare.
And they played the same comp as last time with the addition of Slim. And I think the Slims really completed their comp out perfectly. Does on the arm was amazing. He was able to just pick off these squishy targets with relative ease, and his team was able to follow up with that raw damage.
Yeah, Doze's aggression definitely paid off for him. He did die a few times, but he was dying while taking very key characters out of the game for the enemy team. Taking out Zephys, taking out Malik, making sure that those characters were not able to prevent Ghost from pushing like he did both games. Sephira was there as the backbone support that had the actual control and healing capabilities that Arm lacks. And then you also have that strength, that burst damage, that carry killing potential that both Scud and Slims have. So very strong performance overall from Infamous. Very happy to see them playing the way that they did. 31% of the damage, though, actually coming out on the side of Sephira. Sephira did 31% of the team's damage.
I looked that up. You actually are right. That is scary.
Yeah. To talk about Ghost's performance, to talk about Sigma's performance, and Fear's playing so well on those carry damage-dealing heroes, it really goes to show how strong Sephira is and how unnoticed her damage can go. So she did a ton of work for her team that game. She's kind of like the new Marja, because for a while people would see Marja and they wouldn't recognize how much damage she could possibly do until she wipes your entire team. So I think that that's the same thing we're seeing right now. You just don't really recognize how much damage she does.
And with that, I think we're done with it for the night. Week 2, day 1 is complete. We do have week 2, day 2 on Thursday.
Yes, so tomorrow, 7 p.m. CST, guys, we will have the second day of week 2 going on with a lot of interesting matchups coming up then. We have Infamous Outlaws, the Academy team of Infamous, playing against Team Phoenix, who played a dominant performance in the qualifiers. We have Psychotics playing against Just for Fun. Psychotics being a Spanish-speaking team competing against the Valor series team Just for Fun that had a bit of a rough start going into week 1 and had to forfeit against Pride Stark. Dino Riders playing against VVV, as well as Minority playing against BM Gaming. So a lot of really good content coming from tomorrow's games. Please tune in 7 p.m. Central to Premier Valor League stream. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Shout out to Samurai Gamers for being an amazing partner and providing us with the coverage that we so gratefully appreciate. They have been providing awesome commentary and reviews of each week's gameplay. Feel free to tune into their website and check and read up on all of the awesome content that you may have missed if you didn't tune in, as well as if you're interested in guides, videos, content about how to be a better AoV player, do that. Samurai Gamers. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Bye.